They might have.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is the Democratic Caucus on April 25th, 2023. Thank you all for being here this morning. I have some announcements, and I did have 2 bill reports for you, but both those bill reports are not coming to us today. So I have no bill reports, so this should go pretty quickly. One member was ill and another bill got delayed till next week. So waiting on those bill reports. That will change coming up. As you probably can imagine, things are going to start getting busier and more up and down. And that's pretty much the sense of my announcements today. I want to talk about floor and the changes that are coming. I've been talking about this for quite some time up here and warning everybody that, oh, everything's going to change. Well, it is going to change, and it's going to start this week. As you know, we had a token session yesterday, moving legislation forward by a day. That was the beginning. We're going to keep our floor start times this week the same, 1, and 9:30. But on Friday this week, once orders of the day are complete, we're not going to adjourn. We'll call to order at 9:30, but we won't adjourn. We will just recess, and we're going to recess to a later time. That will be on Friday at 2:30. Before I tell you about the rest of the changes, I just want to say everything I tell you today is subject to change. Apology. I hate to do this, but it is true. Everything changes daily at the end of session. For those of you who've been here, you know that. For those of you who haven't, you're going to learn it. You never know. So we will start splitting our floor times between morning and afternoon. So this week it'll start 9:30 on Friday, orders of the day. We'll go through that probably completely, and then we will recess until 2:30, and we will come take up any bill referrals or any unfinished business from the morning, and then we will adjourn on Friday in the afternoon, starting next week, and that is May. Pull up my calendar, if you don't mind for a sec. I don't even know what the dates are anymore. Next week, starting May 1st, there will be another token session likely on May 1st. And then we will change our times next week. And we will gavel in each day, Tuesday through Friday. Token session, you remember, don't need to be here on Monday. Tuesday, we will gavel in at 10. Tuesday through Friday, we're going to gavel in at 10. I did hear the speakers say this morning that even Friday will be 10, but keep that in the back of your mind. Who knows, maybe it'll be 9:30 on Friday, but then we will recess after orders of the day again at 10 o'clock, do our orders of the day, and then we will recess and we will gavel back in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So please keep that in mind, 10 and 3, Tuesday through Friday. Now, you know, we're getting to the end of session here. So we're definitely getting to the end of session. Our goal is still May 12th, but next week, it is possible we will hold a token session on the 6th, May 6th. That's a Saturday. Again, it's to move business along. It's not definite we'll do it that day, but if we do it that day, it's also possible that the following Monday, May 8th, we might even have an in-person session. So put that in your calendars. You didn't think you ever had to be here on a Monday, but of course, at the end of session, sometimes we do have to be here. This is not confirmed. Just wanted to put that out there. Things might be smooth enough, and with the token session on Saturday, we may be able to wait until Tuesday. But at this point in time, I just wanted to put it on your radar that it's possible we'll have an in-session session, not a token session on the 8th. And then again, the 9th through the 12th, we will gavel in at 10 in the morning. That's the plan right now. Do our business, recess until a set time, likely to be 3. End of session, couple of things. When we recess, please pay close attention to what the time is for recessing, because sometimes we'll come back earlier because we'll have just gotten a notice from the Senate that a bill is coming over and they're suspending rules. So we might be back within an hour because we're trying to pass some bill, and it might not be for several hours. Another thing that we do at end of session, just for the reminder of those of you who've been here and for those who don't know, letting you know, if we're in and out of session, which happens near the end of session fairly regularly, we try to put a sign up on the podium, hanging down in front like here on the podium, saying when we plan to gavel back in. That gives you a sense. We won't do it before that, but it could be after that, but it gives you a little bit of freedom to be able to get out of the building if you need to, make some phone calls, do whatever. We're going to try to do that. But this is going to be, we're heading into that really, really busy time that you spend an awful lot of time waiting around. And so our hurry up and wait season is here. So that was pretty much it on the schedule itself. Oh, I wanted to also say, as I told you right in the beginning, this is not set in stone. None of this is set in stone. You have to pay close attention, but also look for regularly coming now, but starting probably later today, tomorrow, emails from the speaker's office. Look those over very carefully because they will be telling you a lot more on an in time reason why we're doing things. So you may get an email from the speaker's office in the afternoon saying we're going to be back here tomorrow morning at whatever time. Pay close attention to those emails. We're trying to keep on top of this and let everybody know as quickly as we can. I have also been mentioning while I've been up here before, our discrimination prevention training. I've said this many, many times. We do have it scheduled now. Yay. This is really important to all of us, and we are going to be holding it. It will be on Tuesday, May 2nd, and it will be in the morning. I can't give you a specific time because, again, end of session. What we'll be doing is we'll be gaveling in at 10, as I said we would be on May 2nd. But then we'll hold orders of the day, and there is a specific length of time that this discrimination prevention training will take. So we will recess at an appropriate time in the morning to be able to recess to the training. You won't leave the floor. We'll go ahead and have the outside trainers who are coming in to do that training for us. We will gavel out for recess for that, do the training, and then either recess, and if it's going to be at like 11 and it's an hour-long training, we'll come back in at like 1 or whatever time. You have to really be paying attention. Don't know exactly what time we're going to be on and off again, but that discrimination prevention training will happen Tuesday, May 2nd in the morning. So please do be here that day. One last thing I wanted to say, 2 things I want to say. We really will need you in the building. We really will need you on the floor over the next few weeks. That is critically important. Please make plans to be here and to be on the floor and in the building. If you can't be, if you have an emergency or if you're sick or something, notify both your chair. Please notify your chair because chairs need to know. And because they call sudden meetings sometimes when they have to, a bill comes back or the Senate, they need to pull you in. They need to know when their members are here. And also a member of leadership. Please let your chair know and a member of leadership know if you're going to be out of the building at all. Critically important over the next few weeks until the end of session. Also, and Jill just said this to me, and I'm saying this because I hate sounding like mother watching over everybody, but she said, remind everyone about self-care. This is a tough time of the year. And we will have long days on some days and, broken up days in session, in committee, trying to figure out time. And a lot of days where there's nothing to do and I don't know what's going on days. And so make sure that you try to schedule in rest time, make sure you have your snacks because we will have some long days and some lively debates, I am certain, on the floor. So please take care of yourselves. That's super important. That was it for me on announcements. And as I said, 2 bills that I had on our calendar this morning for caucus did not happen. So I don't have any bill reports. I would have, I'll just say this right up front, I would have kept us in the chamber if I had known ahead of time. If it was only going to be announcements, I would have kept us in the chamber, but I wouldn't have been able to do that this morning because they are working on microphones, as you all know. The microphone engineers are here, and it's super important that you share feedback. So make sure that you filled out that form. If you didn't, feel free to email Kevin Moore. This is really, I think it's getting a lot better. I told Kevin this morning myself, when you're on the podium and actually presiding, you can't hear at all. So please speak up loudly when you are in your seat and you are calling a point of order and you haven't turned your microphone, yell, because up at the podium, Jill, and if I'm up there, it is really hard for us to hear. And that's a change from last year. The speakers in the wall on each side, they are projecting out and not as much for us at the podium. They're working on this today, trying to figure out a way to make it a little more clear on the podium, but it is really hard to hear when you're standing up there on the podium. So please speak up. Representative Caucus.
Thanks. Part of the vagaries of the end of session is that we also can have some long pauses while we wait for legislation to move. So this is just a reminder about the badminton net. It is currently in room 33, and there are more badminton rackets and a volleyball in the House Healthcare Committee. Part of self-care.
Thank you, Representative Caucus. That is self-care. Thank you. Please get out and move. I remember in my freshman year actually going out, and when we had breaks on the floor in my freshman year, I didn't have as much to do in breaks. And I actually used to go get ice cream. So that's self-care too. All right, so I don't have any other announcements. Anybody else or any member of leadership, do you have anything that you wanted to share? If not, oh, go ahead. I'm so sorry. I can't have you do that because other people who are listening, well, we record these, as you know, and people can't hear you even if you shout. So I apologize for that. Just introduce yourself for the people who are watching.
I'm Representative Sarita Austin from Colchester, and I just wanted to say thank you to the representatives that write the caucus connections from their committees. I look for that every Sunday. It is really very informative, and I know how much time that takes away from other things they'd rather be doing, and I just want to say I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, anything else? Representative Maslin.
Are there? Is this on? I hope so. I think the sound system in the House chamber has as much to do with pilot error as it has to do with the engineering. I think some people just actually don't speak into the gadgets. We turn our heads. You guys lose the sound. Personally, I don't like the system, but it is what it is. We'll try to fix it. Thanks.
Thank you. And actually that brings up a point that I meant to say. We are sort of on the buddy system now. Thank you, Representative Maslin. It's really important. The reason I say we're on the buddy system with microphones is because we share one that is directional back and forth. I have been noticing lately that members, seatmates are shifting microphones because it's really hard to tell whether you're heard well when you're the one speaking, but your seatmate can tell sometimes. And I've been noticing people shifting a little closer to people's mouths, the person sitting next to them who are using the microphone. So please feel free to do that. Pay attention, because when you're standing up and speaking on the floor and you're speaking passionately about something, or you've just got this thought where you want to do an interrogation, super important. And you might not think that the microphone is you know, whether it's seated properly or whatever, but your seatmate could. So please help each other out on the floor, because it does matter actually when the microphone is as close to your face as it possibly can be. So thanks for that. All right. Seeing no other hands up, I will see you all later, and have a great week, everyone. Thank you so much.